mats and steel, bumper, whatever they sell, right? Yes.
But cost of the printer is less where the cartridge is more.
Ajay, sorry,
Cost of the printer is less and the cartridge is always cost more.
yes. So yes. So the cost, he's mentioning another example. Thank you, sir. Cost of printer is less and the cartridge is more. I'm talking about a side product, sir. So think about all the services and products where you buy the main product and there is a little margin on that. Let's say 15%, 20%. And then there is a side product on which the margin could be 70% or 100% or even 50%. Lots of examples will come to mind. Okay, we'll discuss that. How can we, as a discipline, as a system, build in these side products onto our main so that my existing customer actually feels more satisfied and I bump up my total profit on that existing customer. Okay. Here's an example. Same example. Let's assume this cost of acquisition (COA) is 30%. Let's say that's a 30%. Every new sale comes at a 30% commission. And the product that this company sold, and this is a real life, I have rounded off the numbers, but this is a real life case. The margin on that product was 20%, which is a healthy margin. Same company started another product, a smaller value product, but combining it with the first product, the combination margin became 30% overall, though on the margin P2 is the second product, had a much higher margin. And they didn't have to pay extra commission. So they got the 30% lift from selling to existing customers without going out and paying commission. That is a huge difference. If you now do the math, if you do 100 crores of sale and you do the 30 crore lift and you do the profit margin, you'll work out that it will be more than 150% increase in profit margin or the net profit. Okay, so it's very simple. It sounds simple, but it isn't that simple. Why isn't it that simple? So we know that company B makes much more. So the two big factors I want you to think about is that what is your cost of acquisition and what can you actually minimally have a cost on existing product which we can sell to a new product for an existing customer. Just think about these two things. Now, the famous story of McDonald's, if you have children, you've probably taken them to McDonald's. They'll always sell you the combo meal, right? So the story, we don't know whether it's true story or not, that McDonald's actually loses the money on the burger. It recovers the overheads on the fries, and the real profit margin is the Coke. McDonald's is the single largest customer of Coca-Cola company. It's the single largest. 5 to 7% of Coca-Cola's sales happens to McDonald's. They're able to drive the cost down big time. But the fact is, the beauty of McDonald's model is that it is sold as a package which appeals to customers. I like to eat fries and have Coke, whether I'm a child or a grown-up. So it goes very well, and therefore I'm also incentivized because the combo price is always lower. So there's a discount, and if I'm a value-conscious customer, I'll always say that, okay, I'll take the combo even if I don't want the fry or don't want the Coke. It's still cheaper than getting the burger and the fry. So what can we learn from this? It's a very simplistic thing, but I feel every business can bundle like McDonald's. I've done it in many businesses, and I think it's a very simple thing that you can do without. Now the question is that the cost, like I said, it's the incremental cost of a Coke isn't much. The profit margin on Coke is tremendous, and that's where McDonald's makes its money. In your business, what you have to think, what is essentially customer is coming to have the burger, but what are the things will he enjoy the burger with? Okay? So when you go to buy a LED TV and the warranty is 1 year, Chroma will tell you extended warranty chahiye kya? 3 years. Right? That's a smart move because a lot of us consumers will want extended warranty. Now the extended, if let's say, I'm just making hypothetical, if the margin on the TV is 5,000 rupees or 7,000 rupees on a 30,000 TV, the extended warranty is itself 2,000 rupees. So you've actually grown your profit margin by 50%, and the customer actually wants the extended warranty. Now this is an example of a service added onto a product. McDonald's is an example of another product 2 and product 3 added on to product 1. So you can have any sort of combination. Even if you are in a service business, you can add a product to it. So Amazon.com is a service. It's a website where you can order. It's a platform. They started selling Kindle because they were selling e-books. So if you're putting a Kindle, you're actually now tying both together. And guess what it does to Amazon revenues? For the same customer who's buying e-books is now also buying Kindle, and the guy who buys Kindle will buy more books. So a service has added a product, a physical product. So you can have a product, service, 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 product, whichever combination. The more you do this, but it's not without thinking. You cannot offer something which is not as an affinity with your main product. So how do we build this for our businesses? The first question, and this is a marketing question, and the marketer only can answer this, is what additional need can I satisfy of my customer? I have a customer. This depends on how well you know your customers. And I'm amazed how many business people actually don't know their customers. They rely on their distributor telling them what the customer wants. Never. I mean, if you are in business, you have to know who your customer is. Firstly, who is your customer? What is the job that your product is doing for that customer? Is there different segments of customers? Do they have different needs? What is the superficial need and what is the deep need? I think these are very, very important questions. Very often, we only get feedback from the distributor or the sales force or the salesperson. You know, the salesman tells me, I'm handling the account, or I'm handling, I know, customer ko yahi chahiye. Customer, and what will they say the most? Customer ko kya chahiye? Best quality at lowest price. That's the maximum answer you will hear. That's actually not true. That's never true. Because you've not invested enough time and effort in understanding the real needs of the customer and what your product is solving for the customer. If we devote some time in even talking directly to customers, you will then get a deeper and deeper understanding, and that's what a marketing person does. So marketing person is never a person who just sits and makes ads or does branding. Marketing person is actually spends time giving you answers on this. And in fact, all of you are marketing people, whether you think you are not, or whether you know about it or not. Because that is the key to growing your profits and getting the growth. So let's take an example of the need of the same extended warranty example. What do you think is the need getting fulfilled? Is it anything to do with TV? I gave the example of the extended warranty on TV. What need is the extended warranty servicing for serving the need of the customer?
Safety or security or whatever, safety.
Exactly, peace of mind. It's peace of mind. Okay, so I met this, I'll again not name, I met this businessman. He's a very successful business in Bombay, large business across multiple cities in the West, Maharashtra and Gujarat. His total number of customers is 500,000, 550,000 customers. I told him, and I can't give the example because you probably guess who the person is, but I told him, why don't you sell another product which is very much required by the customer? He's saying, that's not my business. Sir, wo thodi hai mera business. Mera business to hai ye bechna. So very often this is the answer I get. When we are business owners, we are product managers, we are so in love with our product that we are not thinking of the customer's needs. We are thinking, mera kaam hai ye product bechna. And therefore we only focus on our product, not what the customer is wanting from us. And when I explained them that, and actually what I did was I went to some of his customers and we shot a video. We actually shot and asked people and gave the answer that this is actually what your customer is saying, then he realized, oh, my customer wants this also. Very often it is very simply listening to your customers, okay, impartially and genuinely. But if I keep thinking my job is just to sell the plastic molding, my job is just to sell this particular roller bearing, my job is just to sell the electrical genset, my job is just to sell my chartered accountancy services, my job is just to sell software, my job, then you're in love with your product. But that's not, which is fine. And you please improve your product, there's no problem. But I think the question we should ask is, how is it so, what is my customer using my product for, and what can I do more to generate profits? And that's the business I'm in. So McDonald's business is not actually burgers and fries. They want happiness for the kids, a smile for the kids. The business of selling extended warranty for the TV guy or chroma, whatever, is not about the TV, it's about peace of mind. So this is how you actually delve deeper into the needs of the customer, and then figure out what exactly is the need which I can see in the customer's mind and heart. The second question you asked, and I'm asking this of all of you, is out of X crores of sales this year, and I know new fiscal year has started, whatever it was your sales last year, what percentage of that sale came from existing customers? 90%, 80%,
100.
100. So sir, if you're 100, then you need to hunt for new customers. You have a reverse problem.
I do have a bandwidth problem.
You need to get more customers. I meet lots of people. Anybody who says less than 20%? Anybody in the room? Yes? Okay. So I meet lots of people where they're not getting more than 20% of their revenue from existing customers. And that is very often the case. And for those people, by the way, whose number is greater than 30% or 40%, you guys are in a stagnation trap. Because if 2 customers go away or 10% of customers go away, your sales is going to decline. So there is a golden percentage, or I would say a golden band. So you can't depend too much on your existing accounts, and if you're not exploiting your existing customers, that's also a problem. But if you are 100%, then you have a risk. Then you have a risk of business coming down, because you're not investing in getting new customers also. So while there has to be a new customer, that's like the inflow of fresh blood, you have to also oxygenate the existing blood. So the right ratio is somewhere around 25 to 40% is the right number.
Depends on the business that you're in.
Absolutely, sir. Depends on the business that you're in. But the right percentage for most businesses is 25 to 40%. And there are plenty of businesses that the number is less than 25%. So they are constantly spending money on getting new customers. And that actually has a straight effect on the bottom line, on the profits. So that's the simplest way of growing your bottom line. So what are the steps in growing profits? What are the marketing steps involved? What can we do in the marketing side of things? Number one is analysis of the customer base. I'm amazed how many people have not yet invested in a system for their customer database. I'm not saying sophisticated CRM and all of that. I'm saying simple, having a tag on each of your customers as to where, how often is the customer buying from you, what is the average billing, and what is the customer's overall wallet, as they call it, what is the total size of the wallet, what share you have of the wallet, and so on and so forth. Having a basic database of a customer is the first step. If you haven't invested money in this, or time in this, or effort in this, I think it's totally worth it to have a process and system, to have that analysis in place. The second analysis on your customer base is important, is the fact that you need to know who your customer is. I meet so many business people who told me, I asked them, sir, yeah, who's your customer? And the answer is everybody. Everybody. That can't be the answer. If you think everybody is your customer, you're not focusing hard enough. No business has a customer segment which appeals, no product appeals to everybody. You always have certain sets of customers. And you have to define what is my sweet set of customers. This could be segments of population. This could be segments of industry. Are you playing mid-level, budget level? So there is a budget hotel, there is a mid-level hotel and a 5-star hotel, right? You can't say a hotel is for everybody. And similarly, different segments behave differently, buy differently, buy different products. The buying process is different. So a lot of people have not spent time analyzing their customer base, especially for consumer business where there are thousands and thousands of users. If you don't know your users, then you must invest some time in developing that database. The second thing about databases in India especially is that database is left to the branch office or the salesperson or whosoever, especially it's a multi-locational business. And then in computer terminology, there is a term called GIGO, right? You know what is GIGO? Garbage in, garbage out. So all the salespeople will feed in garbage data, and then company thinks I'm developing some database, and then when you do analytics on it, you don't get really good outcomes because it's garbage in, garbage out. So you're not able to build models, predictive models, or models that can help you focus your sales strategy or how your pricing strategy should be, etc. But ultimately, it's the data on your customer which should be guiding your pricing, your product, your marketing. All your efforts should be out of the database. Too often we make judgments from our gut feel. I know the business, मुझे पता है, यही होनी चाहिए, ये correct है भाई. But look at the data also. Yes, I agree you have experience, use your gut, but at least you should have data. Data will guide you better. And nowadays, very easy tools are available to do analytics and modeling if you have decent sized database. So don't rely only on your gut, have models, and on an ongoing basis, you have to clean your database, contacts are to be cleaned up, you have to add fields to your database, you have to know about the household. Suppose you are in a consumer products company, then you have to know what is the household income, what is the household penetration, what is the frequency of purchase, can I sell more people in that household, etc., etc. And then, so adding fields or adding information to existing database. And thirdly is about analytics, which means you can get, like I said, models and tools to harness information which can easily tell you. So I can safely say that I've done this work with many people, and what we find that there are always what we call low-hanging fruit, in the sense that there is something which is ready to be plucked, and opportunity is right there. Once you sit in the analyze the database, the customer is asking for a product, the demand is there, you're simply not meeting it because you are so much internally focused on your work. So identifying opportunity is the best way. The best way to identify opportunity is this. Develop a database, put models and do work on that. Once you've done that, once you have a solid customer database, you have some information, you can add, clean up, then what we do is campaign management. What is campaign management? Campaign management is the offer that you go out to customers with. So the success of any campaign, when I say campaign, it could be an emailer campaign, it could be any kind of campaign. It could be a multiple offer, right from loyalty card to discount on second product or sale or whatever campaign you want to run to improve growth, sales growth. The campaign is dependent on two things. How good you've chosen the database. For example, if you have 100,000 customers, 20,000 may respond the best to your campaign. No point sending emailers to 100,000. Just send it to those 20,000. Or if you have 200 accounts, if you are a B2B company, and if you have 200 clients, you should know that 40 clients in a particular industry are most likely to buy my second product or second solution. Which 40 out of the 200 is determined by the analytics and the database, not by you, because it's not possible for us to predict. So there are very easy softwares now available to do this work. So campaign is dependent on who you make the offer to, and second is what offer are you making. So that is also important. So for example, this is a in consumer businesses it's a science that if you offer X percentage off, or you have to balance profitability with the response rate or sale rate. So the offer also has to be thought through. Please remember that when we start doing this top-up, cross-sell and trying to extract more profits from existing customers or existing database, we don't try to do something which is different from our core line of business. Because I'll give you an example. So there's a big chain of supermarkets in Delhi NCR. Again, I will name them, but that big chain started to augment their profit. They have a lot of footfalls because they're popular and they have a lot of customer base and their products are very good, their service is very good. So to utilize that footfall, they set up a bakery counter inside the supermarket, selling pastries and cakes and all that. Now that is supposed to give extra revenue because they're saying customers are coming to buy atta, dal, chawal anyway, and sell bakery products also. Now to do the bakery product, the business is basically supermarket retailing. Now if you start to add a kitchen, a refrigeration, chef, pastry business is a totally different business. It requires different things. After 1 year, that business shut down because they were not able to run it. So the lesson in this is that, and that is obvious if you just understand, it's not a question of just trying to sell any second product. It should be something that the customer wants. And by the way, the customer who's coming to buy atta and dal is not going to pick up pastries from that counter necessarily. Okay? He may not. But the point is that do not choose for the sake of adding a second product. Please don't add to your product line. And more importantly, be careful of investing too much money and too much workflow design, which means you have to add workflow on your staff to be able to sell the second product. When the car salesperson is selling mats or whatever accessories, it is not extra work that much for the person. It happens as a flow in the process. But if you add another investment in assembly line, another product line, another salesperson, another expertise, then it becomes difficult. Then you're not harnessing the P1 plus P2 profit margin going up. I hope I'm clear. So we have to choose the second product carefully. It has to be aligned and there has to be a need from the customer side that yes, I want it. Okay? So that's all part of the campaign management, choosing who to make the offer to and what should be my offer. These two will determine the success of your marketing strategy. And lastly, when you've done the first three correctly, then you will get more ideas on how to design more value propositions for a particular customer segment. So when you've learned from a set of customers how they're using your product, first product, second product, and so on and so forth, then you may find out that you can actually design a new product to cater to the same market, which is better.